Awesome. All right, so we've established the importance of going from follower to leader, and now we're going to break down the major important factors of leadership so you can use them to become a freaking leader. All right? Sound good? Sounds awesome? This is great. I really wish I had this so many years ago. Thankfully, I got it midway through the process, which is awesome. And these are principles that have seriously changed my whole personality, which is so cool. So I think we're going to do this lesson today in cool colors. So, number one, leadership attribute. Unwavering courage. Based upon knowledge of self and one's occupation. No follower wishes to be dominated by a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a leader for very long. You gotta have unwavering courage, and this courage comes from confidence, and it comes from bold actions. So please, you gotta make sure. Be bold. All right, make decisions hard, make them fast, make them amazing, make them tremendous, and have such an insane base of knowledge that you have no problem being bold with anything that you do and making the decision, sticking with it. Don't second guess yourself. Never second guess yourself. This is so important. I'm going to take a second to elaborate on it. I'm going to do this in green because it's important. All right, I had this one teacher 3 years ago, and it was like towards the end of the school year, and people are starting to get to standardized testing. And he said this one thing that, like, I couldn't believe no one ever freaking told me before in my life. Changed my whole perspective. He said, you know, there was this study on people that were taking the SAT, and they would have very close review of the scrutiny of the test takers. And what they found is that, like, I think it was like 70+% of the time, people that changed their answers actually got the question wrong. So when they took a gut response, and their gut response was, after reading the question, reading all the answers, their gut response was C, but then they changed, they came back. Wow, that was a nice little S. Came back and they changed to something like, they changed it to B, right? This was wrong massive percentage of the time because they went away from their gut and they convinced themselves of the wrong answer. Based on this logic, based on this self-doubt, whatever it is, because they had self-doubt. You cannot have self-doubt. You have to have total confidence and courage. This is why now, when I take any test, without failure, I'll answer everything. And if I have to go back to a question, I'll leave it unanswered so that I know to go back to it if I seriously, like, am having struggles and need to think about it more. But besides that, without fail, I instantly turn it in, never go over my answers. Because I never want to second guess anything. And as soon as I started doing that, I started to have amazing results. Even higher than where I was before. Because you have total confidence in everything that you do. You save time without wasting it going over stuff. You can read a book or something, which is so powerful, is like thinking about how you can create time in your every single day to read through books that are actually going to change your life. Especially if you're in high school or maybe basic college classes or maybe just in like a workplace, or you have extra time with whatever you're doing, you know, try to like get away from the stuff that doesn't matter and get on the stuff that does matter, what you're doing right now, which is awesome. Okay, so they found that when my teacher, he said, you know, if you change your answer, a lot of the time you get it wrong. So stick with your first decision. Unless, and this is the thing, right? Unless you get new information. So for me, right, that would be like if you're on like a test, right, and you read a question, and you know when you have those tests where like some of the questions have the answers to the other questions. Like if you're on number 5 and it's like, what is this thing? And then you go to number 12, and it's like, how was this thing used in this time period? And you're like, oh, now it makes sense. I know what this thing is. And then you go back to number 5 and you change your answer. Like, that would be an example where you have new information. And that would be a totally, totally valid reason to change your response, because your gut was wrong. But you gotta remember, right, your gut has access to what is called the subconscious and your infinite intelligence. And that's so powerful, because that instinct response almost always comes from the subconscious if you're not 100% sure of whatever it is. And if you freaking stick with that, go hard on it. You know, if it's a true-false question, or and this is just an example, right? And this is something you can apply to the marketplace, right? Apply to what you do. But if you have this question, true-false, you're like, you know what? I think it's false. You put false. Just stick with it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't get yourself out of it. All right? Unless you have new information, brand new insights, usually that first response is right. So that's why when you make a decision, stick with the decision, because it's usually right, unless you have new information that says, wow, that was a stupid decision. I should really reevaluate it. Unless that happens, stick with that gut response, fulfill on it. And even if you have maybe, like if you wanted to get to here, and in reality, with your gut response and the decision that you made with whatever management decision you only got to hear, like at least you got all this stuff done, right? Like that's really good. And that all comes from just taking action, right? So you just have to stick with the response that you have and then take action on it. So whatever plan that you make, just stick with the gut plan, take action on it, then get your result, and then say, okay, is there something we need to change here? Is something not working at its maximum potential? Blah, 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 blah. But you want to fulfill, right? You have to stick, create an idea in your head that you fulfill on your plans, and you turn the plans that you have into a reality by making them happen. And you make them happen by sticking to those responses and just convincing yourself that the wrong answer isn't worth going for. And you just keep going over and over and over and over. And then you crush it, right? And then you go back, you say, okay, cool. But don't second guess yourself. Be confident, have unwavering courage, okay? Sweet. Number 2, self-control. People who cannot control themselves can never control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers, which the more intelligent will emulate, right? You want to attract intelligent followers. That makes sense. Remember, right? Like other people, they want to control themselves, right? And if you want to control other people, you have to be in control of yourself, right? You have to master yourself. You have to save yourself, right? If you're trying to help people, master yourself, save yourself before yourself before others. You know, this is that thing with like the oxygen mask in the airplane, right? Oxygen mask drop down. You got to put yours on before assisting other people, because if you pass out, then you won't be able to help other people. But if other people pass out, it's okay, because you've got an oxygen mask on. You can give them their oxygen mask, and everyone will be a-okay, because you're not going to die. You're just going to pass out. And if you pass out, but you don't have your mask on, you're going to freaking get messed up, because you won't die instantly, but you also won't have control over your body to put that oxygen mask on. So you want to make sure that you put yours on first. You save yourself before others. And the way you do that, right, is by controlling yourself, controlling your emotions with strong emotional intelligence, right? Like that's why emotional intelligence is so important, is to have that control over yourself, so that then you can exert control over others. If you don't have total mastery over yourself, right, like over your body, right? Like that's why stuff like the forward body is so cool, because with that stuff, yeah, a lot of those books in that was in that last module, so these is going to be new books. So like the forward body, right, controlling your body, and then same thing, right, with emotional intelligence, controlling your emotions and the way that you interact with people so that you can grow together, right? That's super important, because all of a sudden you're able to control that team. And if you can control yourself, you can control other people, right? Control is super important. It allows everyone to have total confidence in what you're doing. And once you have that, you start to create insane levels of results in the marketplace. It's all based on the idea that you have control, you've saved yourself, and then you can go out there and help other people. And that's so amazingly powerful. And it all comes from this idea that you can crush it for yourself and then lead other people in the right direction. That's why if people listen to speakers, right, they listen to speakers because they want to be like them. They want to acquire whatever skills they're teaching. And so you want to make sure that like you learn the skills that you're teaching before you start teaching them. You don't just be somebody that reads like a bunch of Wikipedia and then decides to teach it with no experience or no wisdom, right? You want to apply it first. And after you apply it, then you should tell people, then you start to lead people. You have to be a follower of the greats first, and then after you're a follower, then you can turn into a leader over time. Very, very powerful, powerful concept. So, number 3. A keen sense of justice. Okay. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of their followers. Now here's a really, really big part, right? Commanding, right? Obviously, you want to have fair commanding. You don't want to be like that thick boss that no one likes. You want to be pretty chill, which is totally cool. Fair commanding. But at the same time, this is the bigger part, right? You want to retain respect. And you retain respect by being fair, being just, treating everyone well. It all comes from, this idea that you're going to take control of your emotions, you're going to take control of your body, you have this self-control, and that allows you to look at a situation, neutrally, and then actually just create insane levels of value and growth, all with this keen sense of justice that's going to allow you, if a problem arises, to handle it as needed, to handle it fairly as a leader, and that'll reinstate your followers' confidence in you that you deserve to, have their respect. So this is something, if you're working on becoming a leader, you can come back to this module once you start to have experience as a follower, and then go over these steps over again, and then apply them, right? So just develop this sense of justice, develop, through experience, like how people should be treated, fairly, punishment, whatever they do, so that you have control over all these aspects. And that allows you to create a fair environment. And that fair environment is going to let people grow, it's going to let people succeed, because they know that everything's constant. They're going to have a good sense of justice from their leader. Super, super important part. And also, if like bad stuff happens, they know that like someone's going to be there to take care of it and to punish, the perpetrator. So everything will be okay. Okay, cool. Definiteness of decision. Bam, guys, what am I telling you, okay? So important, so important. People who waver in decisions show that they are not sure of themselves. They cannot lead others successfully. Guys, you have to be so sure of yourself. No doubt at all. Snap decisions, okay? I was at this conference, Snap Decisions, and there was this concept, right? It's in green because it's freaking important. It's called the 5-second rule. So once you have all the information, all the things you need to know, right? Like this was a stock trade, you looked at the technicals, looked at the fundamentals, you know all the information, you've read the reports, you have what you need. Make your decision in 5 seconds, because I'll tell you what, you're going to be the same person at the second 6 that you are at second 5. Make the decision in 5 seconds, yes or no. You need to have a definite decision-making ability, definiteness of decision. You got to be so sure of yourself that these snap decisions are just part of you. You can make it happen. You can make an impulse decision, and you can stick with it, follow through with it, and have unwavering courage in your ability that you don't second guess anything. This is the power, right? We talked earlier about impulse, gut test answers. That gut response comes from your ability to have a time limit on yourself once you have all the information. Make that snap decision and use the power of your subconscious to actually make it happen. Super, super quickly, because you're going to be the same freaking person, right? Like the information, and after you know the information, just make it happen, make the decision, make it in 5 seconds, and I'll tell you what, that's going to harness your gut, it's going to harness the power of your inside subconscious, and all of a sudden, that decision, you stick with it, you make it happen, and it's gonna freaking work out. You're gonna create results. You're gonna start going on the projects. That's the most important part, right? Is to just get started, overcome that initial barrier to entry, and make it happen. All right? That's why most of you guys are probably here, right? Is you made a gut decision, you made a snap decision. You said, you know what? I'm gonna start this course. I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna commit to myself. I'm gonna get a copy of this book, walk through with it, keep going through it, make it happen, understand the insane importance of this. That all comes from your ability to make decision, right? And the same thing with all the other books that we've talked about, right? It all comes down to that snap decision to say, hey, look, you know what? Bam! I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna change my freaking life. That's the power. Okay? Number 5. Definiteness. Oh, see, you think I'd get better at spelling this, but of plans. The successful leader must plan the work and work the plan. A leader who moves by guesswork without practical, definite plans is comparable to a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, it will land on rocks. Remember, guys, we had that module about creating plans, right? You want to have a mastermind to collectively create plans, so you can understand like these different viewpoints. Everybody can chime in, and you know, it's like if you think about the Declaration of Independence, right? You had tons and tons and tons and tons of people that were helping all these guys draft it. And so when they finished it, right, and they all signed it at the end, everybody signed it. They said, we agree, we agree, we agree. That was a mastermind, right? Like the Constitutional Congress, the people that started this freaking country, they did it in a mastermind so that they could create a plan for literally the next couple hundred years of our country happening from this Declaration of Independence. All came from this mastermind group. And what they did was they created a plan for an entire freaking country, and that plan has lasted through the ages because it was a very definite plan, and it was something that the leaders were able to work over and over and over without guesswork. It was very, very practical, and because of that, it led that ship, it led the country, it led a massive, massive amount of people to change the world by creating one of the most powerful nations, you know, on this planet, right? It all came from this Declaration of Independence, this one piece of paper that was created. It was a plan by all these people that came together. So make that same plan for your business, make that same plan for your life, make that same plan for your overarching secret formula long-term goal, right? Because look, if people can make a freaking country, like, can't you achieve financial security, financial freedom? Like, yeah, it's so possible. You have belief in it, make it happen, make a plan, and execute that plan, and you're going to be among the greats. Because these guys, I'm telling you, what did these guys do? What did the Constitutional Congress, the country, the fathers of this country, what did they do? They made a plan, and they stuck to it. That's the power of, you know, mental envisionment, right? Like, they had this idea that they were going to be separate. They were going to create a new country, right? That was not an easy idea. And that started mentally, and then they created the physical manifestation through years and years and years of war. Very powerful. Very powerful. All starts as an idea, transmuted into a plan, which leads to action and then results. So, stick with the plan and make it a freaking good plan. Because like if you look at like the people that started like major tech companies, I might have said this before, but like Twitter, right? Like it took decades to start to like make that from idea to reality to success. So much time. But the founder of Twitter, right? He had to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and again and again and again for years and years. But he had a good plan, he had a definite plan, and he had total confidence, right? Total confidence, total courage, total confidence in his plan. And so because of that, he just kept doing it over and over and over and over. And with pure success and commitment and consistency, all of a sudden, he created his success. They crushed it. Amazing company. Everything comes from sticking to the plan making it happen, and going through those failures, overcoming them, making it happen time and time again, in and out, over and over. Very powerful. All comes from this plan. So, number 6, the habit of doing more than paid for. I'm just going to put over deliver. Super, super cool. Also make sure that, you over promise, right? So over promise and over deliver. That's a really, really powerful concept from the 10X rule by Grant Cardone. And I'll have that book review below that. It's really, really cool because you're looking at it basically like telling people you're going to crush it, telling them that you're so freaking amazing, that what you have is so, so, so valuable. And then they're like, wow, that's a really, really big, big, big claim. Big claim, and then an even bigger result. So this is having, total confidence in your product, total confidence in your team, total confidence in your decision making, your plans, your courage. Total confidence. It all comes down to confidence, right? You can fake it till you make it. That you're going to be able to over deliver, and then over deliver, right? So over deliver, yeah. Go back to blue. So one of the penalties of leadership is the necessity of willingness upon the part of leaders to do more than they require of their followers, right? Do more. This applies in any aspect. You have to over-deliver. You have to get in the habit of doing more than paid for. Do more. And you can do this as a follower too when you're starting up. Maybe if you're to work somewhere in your job. Like over-deliver. Give so much value. Do more. Add ridiculous value that no one would expect. And if you add ridiculous value that no one will expect, that'll transmute itself. That'll create cash for you. You're turning it into value. You're creating value. That's so, so powerful. All comes from your ability to over-deliver and create tremendous, tremendous, tremendous value. Do more than is required of your followers, right? And if you do that, they'll follow you for life. If you keep giving them so much stuff, so much value, and you just over-deliver to your followers, they're going to keep following you consistently. And that's why this court, all the stuff I do with this membership site, everything, it's all based on this concept, right? And I hope that you guys have gotten a ton more value from this than what you paid for. Without a doubt, like minimum 10x times the value of this content. It's so amazing. It'll change your life. Once you apply it, it's insane. It's so powerful. All comes down to this idea, right? You want to give 10 times more than what you promise at a minimum. This is a concept that is so well developed in the 10x rule. So I'll have that book review below. It's the only difference between success and failure. It's amazing. Very, 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 very powerful. So with that said, number 7. A pleasing personality. Okay. Bam. Okay, cool. No slovenly, careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership calls for respect. Followers will not respect leaders who do not score highly on all factors of a pleasing personality. Guys, I'm telling you, this comes down to that personal development, that socialization, that skill, emotional intelligence. It's all based on being someone that people want to follow, right? Like it's not that tough. That's like an elementary concept, but so many people, they just don't work on this very, very important aspect, which is their personality. You want to develop yourself. You want to be a fun guy to be around. You want to smile, right? You want to be insane. You want to be so cool. And that all comes down to having a pleasing personality. You want to be someone that people want to be around. Very, very powerful. And yeah, I mean, this is where you really want to have that emotional intelligence. And just crush it with your internal development, so that you can create this insane personality that people will gravitate towards. People will be happy to be with you. People will love to be around you. All because of this positivity, right? You want to be happy all the freaking time. Be so crazy that everyone sees you as this person that's just so necessary, as an integral part of their lives, right? And you want them to be happy to be around you. You don't want to yell at them all the time. You don't want to scream at people all the time. You don't want to get pissed off, right? Like that's not going to make people like your personality. It's going to make people, it's going to alienate them, get them away from you, cause them to hide problems if they get yelled at whenever they report a problem, right? Like that's a serious problem. You want to be on the same team. You want to be on their side. You want to be in their court. You want to be in the game with them as a collective group. And that all comes from this pleasing personality, and then creating a following with them, creating rapport with them. This is really the basis of emotional intelligence 2.0. And then also, this is actually like something that's developed a lot in the 1 Minute Manager. Just these techniques, these very, very specific, applicable techniques of creating tremendous rapport with people and making them super, super happy to be with you. They love your personality. That's something that's developed so well in these books. But really, in the 1 Minute Manager is that baseline, very, very quick application of it. And then emotional intelligence is really something that you just got to read to develop yourself. I mean, it just comes with time. That stuff is all part of your overarching growth curve as a person, right? And that's just why, for me, it was so important to get that first minimum wage job at Subway, right? And I'm sure you guys have seen that video, that content, like that, my story, like it's all comes from your ability to create a quality relationship with other people. And that's what those books will really, really help you do. Super, super powerful stuff. So, now that we've got that, all right, let's go over to number 8. I don't want to right over my face, but at the same time, I don't really know where my face is, so I'm just gonna do this, and we'll see if we can squeeze it in. It'll be a challenge, but I'm gonna make it happen for you guys. Sympathy and understanding. Bam. Okay? Successful leaders must be in sympathy with their followers. Moreover, they must understand them and their problems. This is what we were just talking about, right? Understanding your followers and their problems. Create rapport. Right? You want to be on that same playing field as them. You want to be with them side by side. This is why for me, investing is such an amazing thing for me to teach, because I'm in there every single day trading, every day crushing it, loving it. It's amazing, so much fun. In that same community, going through the same problems every day of markets turning left and right and up and down, everyone's freaking out. That's what I'm going through every single day. That's why I love it. It's amazing. It's so much fun. And that's why it's so ridiculously easy for me to be with people and help them out in that space and help them create real savings and retirements. Because I get what people are going through, because I'm going through it every day with them. And that's why it's so much fun. And so it's important, right? You got to be with people, understand their problems. If you're at the same company and you guys are working on floor 12, and you're doing the same thing every day with each other, then this is going to be ridiculously easy for you. You just have to be in their world, be with them, be in the same place that they are, doing the things that they're doing. All of a sudden, you're going to create sympathy and understanding between each other. You're going to create rapport, not repertoire. You're going to create rapport, and use that as fuel to just grow this relationship and understand their problems, right? You want to solve their problems. So, hey, I ask people all the time. I ask you guys through emails, right? What are your problems? I want to help you guys freaking overcome, because I know I was going through the same crap. And now, it's tough, especially once you start to really have massive success, when you start to grow and achieve. You sort of forget, where you started on the learning curve. And you might not remember, I have my friend, and he's someone I've been working with for a long time to help him just crush it in financial markets. He's like right about here, and he's like, yeah, there was these things when I was at the bottom of the learning curve that I really wish like I would have just known. And they're like very, very basic things, like how to open up Thinkorswim and like add a chart or detach a chart from a window, like very, very basic stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I can't believe, like, I'm like way up here, right? So I'm like, I wasn't even freaking thinking about that. And so it's like, you gotta like really level down and think, what are the problems that these guys are gonna come through? And that's what I've, done with pretty much all of 9 to noon, is go from 0 to 100 in personal finance and investing. And the same thing applies to whatever you're trying to lead people in, is you really need to understand them and the challenges they go through so that you can help them overcome them, right? Like, this is very, very basic stuff. It would take me like a 5-minute video to explain this, but I just didn't think of doing it until I got in front of people and said, what are your problems? So ask your people, ask your community, what are their problems? Understand them, understand the situation, right? So this is so important. This is why I go out and I talk to people, especially the people that bought my book. I go out and I say, hey, look, guys, what's your financial situation? Where were you at? I have people where they had $40 in their bank account and they freaking bought this book to change their entire life. And it all came down to their ability to say, I'm going to put $200 in a brokerage account and I'm going to leave it in there for them. Freaking grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's insane. That's so awesome. You gotta remember, this is a $35 book, right? People are putting up like their whole freaking bank account. It's so powerful because it changes their life. That's insane. That's so powerful. And that's, oh my God, it's amazing. So put yourself in a situation where you can understand the people you're working with, and you're gonna have such a massive, massive, higher impact on them. To just crush it. It's so powerful. So, number 9, mastery of detail. Right? Super cool, super cool. Successful leadership calls for mastery of detail of the leader's position, right? This is the basis of the 1-minute manager, right? Is that your job is to lead people, right? And so because of that, you want to be a very, very good master of management, of leadership, right? And so, when they say mastery of details, right? Of the leader's position, this is really where you're looking at, creating these management skills and these people skills. This is also what's really, really well developed in Principles by Ray Dalio. It's the same thing. Like you're learning how to create this team environment, this management, this group project, this leadership environment where all of a sudden you're the master of the details. You understand the process behind the group mentality, the process behind the decision making, the process, and that's huge with Principles, is like decision making. I'll put DM for decision maker. Like, that's so important. And those are some skills that are going to pay dividends by allowing you to master the details, master the process, and use that as fuel to go out there and create insane levels of results with your team and your followers and your group and your community, all because you understand these overarching principles of one-man manager principles, book reviews below, all this stuff's below, of like how to lead the team, how to structure the team, how to create the team, how to fulfill the team, how to grow the team, how to make everything so powerful that people just can't help but love to be led, love to follow, and then grow themselves and get to that level of achievement, facilitate the growth of that level of achievement for themselves, which is just awesome. It's so powerful. And it all comes from this individual ability to master the details of the leader's position. And that's what you get through books, right? Is the detail of the leader's position. Super cool stuff. I'm gonna circle that area that I just wrote in green, and then I'm gonna erase it just to move on. I'm circling it in green though. I'm gonna fill it in green because that was important. That was important. So, number 10. Willingness to assume full responsibility. Take full responsibility. Oh man, this is really, really good. Successful leaders must be willing to assume responsibility for the mistakes and shortcomings of their followers. If they try to shift this responsibility, they will not remain leaders. If followers make mistakes and become incompetent, it is the leader who has failed. I was just at this conference, right? Yeah, so it's like, it's your fault. And this is why it's tough, right, for a lot of people to be a leader. It's your fault if the team / follower fails, right? Like if for me, right, like in investing, like if I can't take someone to massive financial success and having an insane like future with assets and growth and wealth, you know, if I can't do that for somebody through my book, like that's my fault, right? And that's why like you can return that, right? Like you get your money back. That's why I put so much effort into making it something that'll literally change your life. Because it's so powerful. Like freaking year of my life in that thing. And it's just everything. It's all there. Take full responsibility. If you read that book and you can't freaking trade a stock and make money, like it's my fault without a doubt, right? And you gotta take full responsibility for your followers. Take full responsibility for your team, right? If people are incompetent, it's your fault. I'll tell you what. So this comment, Grant Cardone was there, and 10x, amazing book, awesome stuff. And the audience, he comes out, and he's huge with social media, right? Like he wants the entire world to know who he is because it's important, you know, to get your name out there and to get your face out there, especially with personal branding. You know, obscurity is the enemy of obscurity is the enemy of failure, of success, right? So you want to make sure you have your face, you're known, you're well known, and when you're well known, you're gonna have tremendous success. So that's why he works so hard on social media, right? Like having huge amount of content produced daily, just so much on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, everything, right? All these social platforms. He's putting out tons of content, trying to get millions and millions of people to follow him. And so he comes into this room and he comes into this conference, this event. He says, hey, Grant Cardone, awesome stuff. I just flew in on my freaking 10x jet. And he says, hey, raise your hand if you haven't heard of me before. And like, I'd say like 5 to 10% of the room raised their hand. And he looked straight at them and he said, look, I am so sorry. It is my fault. I can't believe this has happened. I'm so sorry that you guys don't know about me. He apologized for them not freaking knowing who he was because he worked so hard for it, right? And he realized that like it was his fault that these people weren't his followers, that they hadn't like, you know, seen his stuff and just had like the motivation from it, which is so cool. Because all of a sudden, right, like you're taking total responsibility. Like he has like 80 freaking plus people working for him all the time, you know, production, video, support, publishing, you know, their entire job. He's got film guys around him, camera guys everywhere. Everything he's doing, you know, these guys are working day and night to turn that into content and put it out into the marketplace. And, you know, he could easily say, oh my gosh, it's my team's fault. They didn't put out enough videos. They didn't do enough advertising, you know, stuff like that. But no, you take full responsibility. It's your fault. He took full responsibility, totally his fault, right? That he hadn't gotten his name out there. And so you can't blame your team, right? Any problem, any issue, any mistake is in one way or another, it's your fault. Take responsibility for it and say, look, I'm so sorry, this is my fault. Like, you know, like I was working at Subway right now at people, and there was this one guy, he came in, he was so upset, you know, because it was the morning and I was the only guy there. I was opening the store, I was baking the bread, baking cookies, all that stuff, setting up all the food, and he was like, hey, I want like a egg sandwich thingy, like an egg morning wrap. And I'm like, okay, let me, you know, go get the eggs. It was like, usually they're in the fridge in the back. And then I go and I check and I'm like, oh, well, there's no freaking eggs, dude. And so I tell him like, hey, look, there's no eggs, sorry. Because he had to like special order the eggs because nobody goes into Subway and gets eggs in the morning. It's a very small percentage of the sandwiches. So, and usually people just don't come to Subway in the morning. So I'm like, dude, sorry, there's no eggs. And he gets so pissed. He was like, there's no eggs. Oh my gosh. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm sure. And so he's like, call your manager. And I'm like, okay, dude, freaking whatever. And then there's this guy, I remember management was seriously messed up. And there was a lot of people where it was like, they were just not having it, with the workers, right? So, I call this guy and I'm like, look, this guy's kind of mad. He already got a sandwich. He got like this veggie sub, and it was like, a foot long or whatever. He got a sandwich for breakfast, which is cool, right? Like totally cool. But he wanted the second one, which was that egg sandwich. And I was like, yeah, sorry, dude, we don't have any eggs. And he was like, yo, to my boss, he was like, there's no eggs. Oh my gosh, service is terrible. I can't believe this. And so, he gets on so he gives me the phone back and he's like, look, just give this guy like 3 cookies and say you're sorry, and it won't happen again. And I'm like, dude, are you freaking serious? Are you for real? Like, it's not my fault that like no one ordered eggs, because there was no protocol, right? Like, people weren't telling us to say, hey, if we're out of eggs, tell us to order eggs. Like, I didn't freaking know. I just thought I took inventory every week, and I think eggs were part of inventory, right? So like I put 0. There's no freaking eggs. Read the inventory sheet, right? Actually, now that I think about it, eggs, yeah, they were, yeah. So, and I would tell them like, hey, look, this is the stuff we're out of, and then I would like expect them to order it, right? And they would order it, and it takes time to like come and get there. And so like it's not my fault that there's no eggs. Like, I'm not running the store. Like, I'm just working minimum wage. And so he made me apologize to this guy, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like, whatever, right? Like, you apologize to people, especially if you're working like minimum wage job and you're just trying to like make it happen. You suck it up, but like, it's not my fault, right? It's the management, right? You have to take full responsibility for the people that you're working with, because it's your fault, right? Totally your fault. Even if it doesn't seem like your fault, even if someone totally messes up. There was this guy I was working with, and he was a total asshole to someone, and it was so weird. But like, was it his fault? Was it management's fault for upsetting him? And in all reality, if you're the leader, you have to take responsibility. It is your fault when things go wrong. Even if it's not your fault, it's your fault. All right? You got to put up so much in yourself, so much of your energy, that people just can't help but want to be insanely powerful. That they want to crush it with you, and they want to succeed with you, right? And that's the power behind having full responsibilities, that all of a sudden you're changing your mentality, you're changing your mindset to go from nothing to crushing it, to doing it, to being amazing. And that level of difference, that competence, it all comes from your ability to inspire your team to be so amazing. And if they're not at their 100% A game, it is your fault. You take full responsibility for that, because it's your fault, right? Everything's your fault. You're growing the team, you're setting the rules, you're setting the standards, you're doing everything. If something goes wrong, it's your fault. All right? Okay. Cool, so let's get back to last trait, number 11. Cooperation. Successful leaders must understand and apply the principle of cooperation, cooperative effort, and be able to induce followers to do the same. Leadership calls for power, and power calls for cooperation. Right? You got to interact with the team. You got to be with your team, like we just talked about. It's a group effort. Everyone's in it. Group effort. Okay? Successful leader, you got to always remember to influence people being happy and work together. Right? Collaborate. It all comes down from this ability to create power, right? Create this increased ability, and that power, it comes from cooperation. It calls for cooperation. When you can align everyone together, you can take their interests together. You combine interests, right? That's your job as a leader, right? Is you're this person right here, and you've got say you got, whoa, come on, I wanted to make it burgundy. At least I think it's burgundy. I don't know, what's it say? It says magenta. It doesn't freaking matter. If If you got a bunch of people under you and you want everyone to work on this project, on this team, on this group, you want them to work to create this insane result. You got to make sure everyone's on the same page, everyone's working together, everybody's working on their A game, right? They're doing their unique ability, they're doing what they're best at, so the people can focus on their strengths rather than their weaknesses, right? They want to turn their strengths and leverage them and create results from those strengths. So everyone goes and they're putting out this output and they're doing an amazing job. Then as a leader, right, you want to make sure that these followers are doing it the right way, they're doing amazing, they're awesome people. And then because of that, you're able to use this as a way to grow, is able to combine their interests, make everybody the same, make them part of this team, cooperate, grow together, make it a group effort, and have an insane level of output that only comes with strong teamwork, strong collaboration. Very powerful underlying concept. It's from this idea that you grow with people, cooperate with people, and use that as your leadership ability to bring them together, create an insane team, create an insane result. All comes down to these, ability to get people together and on the same team. You're on the same team. So those are top 11 leadership attributes. Hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. And use them, crush them, come back if you need to come back to be a leader, right? Work through your way, figure out what you need to do to get yourself to be a leader. Be a freaking leader. Crush it, guys. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next module.